Hey guys, today I'm going to walk you through how to make your own movable planter box. Stay tuned for this episode of Broke-Dad. So Mama wanted a new planter box for some herbs at our new house. The problem is we don't have the sun patterns down yet, so we decided to make a box that can roll in and out of the shade if needed. I used untreated cedar fencing boards and redwood decking posts for this project. Cedar does very well in all weather, and it is resistant to mold, and it does not conduct heat, which will help keep the soil and the roots cool. The redwood was used because it is beautiful. Measure the length and the width of the box that you wish to make. If you want to be able to move the planter box, do not make it too large. I used a circular saw to make these quick cuts, as they do not have to be perfect. When using any saw, be sure to review the safety procedures, plan out your cut, double check that you are clear of the blade, and make sure that the object is secure to your support table. Next, I cut the decking post to the height I wanted using a handsaw. If using a handsaw, make sure you are using the proper blade format. As this was a cross cut, meaning I was cutting across the grain or the lines of the wood, I used a cross cut blade. If I were cutting with the grain, I would use a rip saw blade. Think of it as though you were ripping the grain of the wood apart like a piece of string cheese. Next, you set the cedar boards onto the post. Select a drill bit that is smaller than the diameter of the screw you are using. Create a pilot hole by applying even downward force on the drill, moving in and out until you have achieved the desired depth. Change drill bits and insert screws into these pilot holes. The length and diameter of the screws that you use will be dependent on you and the size of the box. Once you have completed the front and back, clamp the side pieces to the support post and repeat the pilot hole and screw steps until you have created a box that does not have a bottom. Now flip the box upside down, measure, mark, and make your cuts. You can use any saw for any of these cuts that you are comfortable with. A miter saw will make these cuts quickly if you have one and are comfortable with it. Simply set the freshly cut boards down onto the upside down planter box, cut pilot holes, and screw them into place. In order to fill in an area that is less wide than the pre-milled boards, you simply mark the boards where they need to be cut. Using a table saw, you can set the fence to the mark you made and rip the boards. If you are using a table saw, please make sure that you have been taught the proper safety procedures, as this tool is absolutely amazing, but one of the most dangerous in the shop. To make the last boards needed, simply measure and mark the board so that it will fit the remaining gap. Use the appropriate saw and make the needed cuts. Once the bottom is completed, I like to take some thin scrap wood and attach a few support beams using the same drill and screw method. Now use a medium grit sandpaper and sand the piece in order to prevent future splinters. In order to make this planter easy to move, you will want to purchase 4 sturdy rubber wheels at your local hardware store. Spending the extra money for ones that can be locked into place may not be a bad idea. Match the part of the wheel that screws into the wood with a drill bit that is the same size or a bit smaller. Drill a hole and screw the wheel into place. Use a level to set the wheel heights to make sure that the box sits evenly. You may need to use pliers to help you screw the wheel into the wood. Take a moment to make sure that all the wheels work before you move on to the next step. Take a weed blocker and line the inside of the planter box. This is meant to help keep the soil in the planter and help prevent any rot. Simply cut the desired piece and staple the mesh to the planter. Once the blocker is set, take a razor blade and make a few holes in the blocker. Drill holes in these locations to allow water to escape the planter box. Too much water being trapped can turn stagnant and promotes bacteria and mold in the soil. Place some riverstone over the holes that you made so that the soil does not escape while still allowing water a path of egress. Now move the planter to its new home, add some soil, and plant. Now you can relocate your planter box with ease. Hope you enjoyed today's episode of Broke Dad. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so that we can bring you more videos that help.